Hello everybody, welcome back to another reaction video. Today, we are going to be reacting to Time Team. So this is a Twitch Points quest by Trobby. Thank you, Trobby, for using your points on this. So this is a British television program that originally aired on Channel 4 from 94 to 2014. It came back in 2022 on YouTube. It was originally hosted by Tony Robinson. He did not host the revitalized YouTube version, but he's still involved in it, I believe. So each episode of this features a team of specialists carrying out an archaeological dig over the period of 3 days, with Robinson explaining the process. So yeah, that sounds fun. Yeah, that's ran for a while. I think the YouTube version's still going. Tony Robinson apparently narrated like a 3-part documentary for them just last year. In total, this has had apparently 292 episodes across 23 series. I think it's more, though. I don't think the Wikipedia page is quite up to date. And it looks like it had some spin-offs as well. The episode we're going to watch today is the last episode of Series 11. It is Series 11, Episode 13, and it premiered on March 28th, 2004. All right.
Welcome to Dorset and the windswept landscape of Cranbourne Chase, an area that archaeologists have been drooling over for years because it's jam-packed full of archaeology. Take this field, for instance. Recently, 2 different sets of burials have been discovered here. Archaeology. And the local farmer wants to know whether they could have anything to do with something that he's discovered just close to his house. Strictly speaking, it was some pigs who made the discovery. Oh. They were rootling around in this area over here when they unearthed a mosaic floor and lots of bits of wall and Roman tile like this. Oh. Apparently, they're part of a large Roman building, but it's the wrong shape for a villa. So what on earth could it be? And are the burials up there the people who lived here? The farmer is desperate to find out, and I've promised him personally that over the next 3 days, Time Team won't let him down.
That face said, imagine if we do that. Shit. A ring! Let's go home, boys. We got a ring.
With 2 sites to investigate, we've started geophys here near the farmhouse, where we hope they'll be able to reveal the extent of the Roman building. While they press on with that, the rest of us are going to focus on the burials discovered in this field on top of the ridge. It's a heck of a way from those Roman finds up to the graves, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they're almost on the other side of the hill, aren't they?
I've promised the farmer we'd try and find some link. Do you think there is one?
Oh, I think there could be, yeah, because, I mean, the villa would have had its own estate, its own land, and those burials could be on the land, so they could easily be connected.
The burials were discovered during the last few days of a dig by Bournemouth University. Only they didn't have time to find out much about them.
Because we kicked them off.
Our first task here is to find Bournemouth survey points so that we can relocate the burials in this field.
I mean, what sort of marker is it?
It's a long aluminium spike, probably about that deep.
So it's a proper survey pole?
Yeah, big head on it, yellow marker on top of it. We found the one in that corner, so we know what they look like. And it should be in this area.
Right.
I'm a bit concerned it might have been ploughed out, though. That's the plough edge.
Of course, I never doubted that we'd find them for a second. And now that we have, we should be able to use the GPS system to position our trench just next to theirs. It also means that we can relocate Bournemouth's geophys plot accurately in the field too. The actual burials don't show on this survey, but as you can see, this plot is showing lots of other archaeology that could be relevant.
We're at the top end of this field here, looking down, and you see it's covered in features typical of Cranbourne Chase.
Looks like a fish.
It seems to have archaeology of all sorts of different periods in it.
We're looking for a giant fish.
I think this is a ring ditch, which probably means it's a ploughed out Bronze Age barrow. Sometimes there are Bronze Age burials in, but there are often later burials around the edge as well.
Presumably these are field boundaries.
Yeah, I think we've got some sort of linear sort of land divisions running across here, but as you say, these smaller areas look as if they're Iron Age or Romano British fields.
Where's our burials?
Well, we've got two areas, one area up in a ditch here,
Round the fish
and then a
head.
bigger group down in the middle here. That's where our trench is going in, because although we've got burials here, we don't know what date they are.
Is this our lads here?
Down in the middle there, yeah.
I wouldn't think so.
So one of the first things we've got to do is try and find out what date those burials are.
So as Trench 1 gets underway over the burials, near the farmhouse, our historian Guy de la Bedouiller's finding out more about the Roman building.
It's the pigs that discovered this.
The pigs?
Yeah, the pigs. When the pigs were out in the whole of this field.
Trailing away?
Trailing away. No, they used to come back with their little mosaic cubes in their mouths
Really?
and drop them into the water troughs, and I thought it's time to investigate a bit further.
So you have had an excavation?
We've had a little excavation just over the far side there where we discovered the mosaic floors.
But what other evidence of building material have you had?
There's lots of flints, Roman roof tiles just scattered on the surface, and when you actually cultivate over the ground you can actually feel the tractor going over other buildings. So
how far do you think the building spreads?
you can definitely see a platform.
Yep, I can see
further
that.
out.
So have you got scattered traces of it stretching right the way over?
Yes, so
it's much bigger than that. Yeah.
I think so.
Up on the ridge with the full team at work, it hasn't taken long to whip off the turf, but somehow we seem to have opened up our trench on top of where Bournemouth were digging. Is this your fault, Henry?
No, everybody's pointing the finger at me, Tony. But, basically, I've mapped out the position of their original trench, Bournemouth's original trench, and I've only just found out they had an extension.
That they didn't tell you about?
Nobody told me about it, no.
Oof.
I'm innocent.
So all of this
Those damn
area
kids.
here is already dug?
No. Only small parts of it. Come and have a look at it. There's some of this stuff is
Just
absolutely
some of
pristine
it.
archaeology. You see, there's a ditch running through there. You can see there's the natural chalk there, the white stuff there, and then this is the actual edge of the ditch running along there.
Yeah.
And then it comes along and it turns and it comes down this way here.
There's a bone here.
That's right, there's an animal bone actually in the top of the ditch.
Yeah.
We've had loads of pottery out there already. Now
That's
here,
how you
we
say it's like
think
an animal.
we might actually have a grave.
And is this a new grave?
This is a brand spanking new grave, never been dug.
Only this bit of our trench overlaps with Bournemouth's excavation. They dug this grave but didn't get any dating evidence. The skeleton would have been taken away for analysis, and we've quickly re-excavated it to confirm it's empty.
That looks like a good solid chalk bottom down there, Ian.
Yeah, this is the bottom of the grave.
And no bones in it, so it's definitely been excavated before.
Oh yeah.
So we've
Battery
got
got
two
up and
more
walked
graves
away.
here that have never been
One there.
excavated.
Oh my
God, we have a
They
zombie.
there, Tony, in the
Absolutely.
chalk, you know, you can see the edges clearly, can't
Even
you?
I can see that there are graves
The
here.
contrast of the white chalk and the brown fill.
This is a heck of a lot of graves, isn't it? Isn't that going to be a problem?
Well, we're not going to dig them all, we just need to know where they are.
Phil reckons we might have a good
I
chance
don't
of
care about these
dating
people.
these burials because we've uncovered this grave which has been put in over a
Good
ditch.
for them, actually.
Where it's related to a ditch, we want to know whether it's earlier than the ditch or later than the ditch. That's a crucial piece of evidence.
And then when we date the ditch, we'll know much more about the date of the graves.
That's exactly it.
Imagine just dying and fucking hundreds of years later some dude with crazy ass hair just digs you up. Come out of the grave pissed off.
To find out how big this burial area is, we're opening a trench on either side of Trench 1. Tony to John.
Go ahead, Tony. John, from here, it looks as though you're reading something, are you?
No, we're hard at it, Tony.
How long before you get any results, do you think? Probably an hour or so at least.
It's the trouble with sites like this. When you're at one end, you've no idea what's happening at the other. Thanks, John.
No problem.
Geophys has been tried here before,
Called him out
but
crazy.
conditions at the time resulted in these fairly fuzzy results. A few trenches have also been dug by the local archaeology group.
And they've got mosaic floors here. You can see all that laid out there. There's walls have turned up all up the edge here. And then sort of on those walls there's obviously been painted wall plaster when they were standing.
It seems an enormous leap to me, but they've come up with this interpretation of the building and they reckon it's too big for a Roman villa.
I don't go along with that at all. They're really talking about this whole area here, but the building they've outlined at this point is not really any bigger than the existing modern farmhouse on the site. There are lots of Roman villas that are far bigger than that.
So it could be a villa, but Guy also has another idea.
But this house does sit on the edge of a large
I call it
area
Baroque, bro.
involving Cranbourne Chase and Salisbury Plain, which has traditionally been associated with having no Roman villas in it. And so some people have said perhaps this is an imperial estate, farmed for the emperor's benefit, owned by him. So, I mean, one possibility, I guess, is that this place could be the administrative centre, a building that has a very large set of facilities for the procurator, the government official, who would have helped to run the area. But that's total guesswork.
Well, but Guy, you know as well as I do that actually in this area north of here there are villas popping up all the time
There are
at the
far
moment.
fewer over to the west. There are far, far fewer than over to the west.
Well, it's got our experts thinking and arguing. But does the Roman building have anything to do
They
with the
start throwing
burials
hands.
up on the ridge? Do they even date to the same period? Thankfully, we've got an expert on burials with us today who might be able to tell us.
You haven't seen this yet. Cool. It's a Roman flanged dish.
Flanged meaning just that bit
It's got
sticks
the
out?
sticky out bit,
Yeah.
exactly.
Any idea what it would have been used for?
Well, we think these are just like salad bowls, tableware, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it looks
Do you
like
get
it.
grave goods in a Roman grave?
You do. Often not very many, but I mean, we could find nothing at all. So just to find this is quite something.
Do you want to come and have a look in here?
You're joking.
No. Dinky little, dimpled.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, little neat alleyway.
Result!
Well.
And it's complete as well. It's sweet.
Explain what it is. A funny little dinky dimpled vessel. Right.
It's a late Roman beaker. I've seen this kind of thing before. They're from 3rd or 4th century, and they're little miniature drinking cups.
Now, presumably, we wouldn't say that this accidentally fell in there.
No, this is not residual. This is going to have been made not long before the moment of burial, most likely. So here we have a grave.
Looks pretty
with
intact.
something that dates it.
What a result! Technically speaking, this dinky dimpled thing is a new forest ware beaker, and it means this burial's Roman, dating to the late 3rd to 4th century AD. It's quite possible I'm dreaming all this, because we seem to be discovering exactly what we're looking for.
Oh, sick.
We've got another discovery over here in Trench 2. There are no graves showing, but what we've revealed is further evidence of the ditch found in Trench 1 that runs underneath this burial. It appears to be full of what looks like Iron Age pottery that will help to establish the date for the ditch.
Yeah, now let's have a look at the other side. See what we've got.
Yeah, there's one,
dimple.
look.
And
In fact,
it's
there's
paired.
two. They're
So
pairs. They're little pairs.
So it's deliberate.
I love
isn't it?
pairs.
It is.
Yes. And we got
And
another
there's-
pair.
there's
of pairs,
another
yes.
one, look.
There we go.
How are they doing it?
Look,
Like
they've
that?
pinched it. Could be. We got.
I think that is. It's got its two fingers pinched, and it thumb and finger pinched like that.
We'll have to wait for the final word on this when our expert on Iron Age pottery arrives tomorrow.
It's a very noble pot, that is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Glorious.
Meanwhile, I'm feeling a bit nervous because I'm being allowed to excavate what is, at the moment, one of the most complete finds ever discovered on Time Team. You ever found one of these before?
No, never.
Am I being too tentative?
No, you're fine. Yeah, that stone's embedded in there,
Yeah.
so you can go further underneath this area here and...
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's fine.
It's the stones that are unnerving, isn't it? Because you don't want to yank them up in case they're actually underneath.
That's right, yeah.
Hello, David. I believe you've got a Roman coin for me.
Yes, it's not a terrifically good coin, but
Genuine
broke it,
Roman.
but they cut it out.
Right. It's late 3rd century. See the little radiant crown
I
around
do.
the top there?
Barbarous radiant, that
That's
was-
right.
This late 3rd century coin fits with the date of the Roman beaker I'm excavating. And it seems the material coming from the other graves is all Roman too.
It's very hard to say with larger nails, but those could be out of the coffins, for example, that the
Oh,
graves are in.
yes,
But
right.
it's these little ones are really interesting. Those are the hobnails. Romans are often buried with their shoes on because they have to wear boots to make their journey across into
Oh,
the
I see.
underworld.
Oh, I see.
And they're very common
Right.
grave good finds.
Yes,
So that's
yes.
really good.
Oh, good.
I've excavated quite a lot over the years under supervision, but a whole beautiful little ceramic pot has been out of my league. But I suppose something this shape is likely to be quite robust, isn't it?
That's it. If you carry
on round like that.
It
There you go.
moved, it moved.
That's okay. If you carry on round like that, you'll probably find that if you define the other end,
Yeah.
you might find it'll just, if you feel it now, just literally hold it and just very gently see.
Ah. Oh, well.
If it's giving you any pressure, then don't.
No,
There
it's
you
not,
go.
it's not. Come on, darling.
Yeah,
Come
look
on.
at that. There we go. And that's
Oh, isn't
full
that
up.
fantastic?
Yeah,
Oh, thank you for letting me do that.
that's all right.
You've made my day, made my week.
What the hell they keep in there, I wonder?
All day we've been concentrating on digging the graves on the far side of that ridge, and no wonder, because they're really exciting. But the job is to see if we can link them to the Roman building down here, and it's 4:20, day one, and we haven't even started yet. Any chance, John?
Well, we're getting there, but slowly. It's not good conditions
Get
for
your shit
resistance.
together, John.
It's been too dry.
The spread of building rubble's making the results slightly blurry, although they do seem to match the suggested outline of the building. To start with, John reckons we should put a trench in here.
Well, certainly that looks like the darkest area of your resistance, doesn't it? So perhaps there's more rubble and stuff there. So yeah, let's start with that.
With the archaeology close enough to the surface for pigs to unearth, our trenches here to begin with will be hand dug. Straight away there are a few bits of tesserae or Roman mosaic floor coming up. I know that more than anything else, the farmer Simon is keen to find out more about his Roman building and hear what our experts make of it. Pretty good day one.
Yeah, I think we've begun to sort this out, this bit here.
In what way?
Well, we don't seem to have any burials
Crazy
in
ass
that
beating on
trench
that guy.
over on the far side there.
I want
We've
it.
only got one possible one in the end here. It doesn't seem to go much up the slope, so if anything, it's only coming this way. So we've almost defined the extent of it on the side of the hill here.
And what about our mysterious Roman building?
Yeah, I still wonder about that. I mean, the favourite option seems to be a villa, but I keep thinking of other things. I shouldn't mention it, but I have wondered about a temple.
You've just mentioned it.
Well, yes.
Yeah, well, too late.
What about this find?
Yeah, this is lovely, isn't it? This little New Forest beaker. But it's got something in it. You hear that rattling?
Yeah, I can hear it.
So I don't think we just unpick the soil and wash this. I think we get somebody, a conservator, to have a look at it, just in case there's something in there that's of interest.
So, end of day one, we've got
Ancient
lots of graves here. We've got that fantastic, enigmatic building over the ridge, and we've got this. And if we find something like this on the first day, who knows what we might get on the other 2 days. Yesterday, to my amazement, we quickly managed to establish that these burials are Roman and date to around the late 3rd to 4th centuries AD, and we'll find out more about them over the next 2 days. But the archaeologists also want to know how the burials relate to some of the other archaeology showing in this geophys plot. To start with, Phil wants an expert's opinion on the decorated pottery discovered yesterday.
Can you give us a date for that pottery?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's nice, isn't it?
Well, that's what we thought.
Yeah, it's 1st century BC.
It is Iron Age.
It's very late Iron Age. It's classic for this part of the world, this part of Wessex, Cranbourne, Chase.
Well, that's excellent, because that does confirm what we were thinking, that this ditch is so much earlier than our burials.
Yeah.
It means that we now know this ditch is late Iron Age, and that the Roman burial we've discovered here must have been put in after the ditch had long gone out of use. Spurred on by our early success, Phil's now widening Trench 2 to investigate yet more archaeology.
Now what have you done?
So we got a feature in here.
What did you do?
The thing is, it only sticks that
It means
much
you're getting really
into the
pissed.
trench. So I want to know where the other side is. But
Yep.
you see, look, it's actually quite substantial.
Oh,
because-
and this is good fill material,
That's right.
isn't it?
All this brown material is the actual feature, and then you've got this distinctive chalk line that comes along there. I also wonder whether it might not be a building platform.
That's another possibility, isn't it? Yeah.
Could be a
Over
dance
near the
floor.
farmhouse, we know we're excavating a Roman building. We're just not sure what it is exactly, or if it existed at the time of our 4th century burials. Although it's early days in terms of digging, Guy has been looking for clues to the date of the building by examining the farmer's collection of finds.
Simon, I've been looking at all these finds that you've got. Now, did they all come from around the villa or a bit further afield?
They come from all through the bottom of the field there.
Right, so all over?
Yeah, all over.
There's an interesting story that's emerged from it because the Romans arrived in this area around the year 43. Now, I think we're quite close to an invasion period fort at Hod Hill, aren't we? That's not far away.
Not far away.
Right, now these brooches belong to around that period, around the middle of the 1st century, but then...
Although the brooches indicate some Roman activity here just after the invasion, there's not enough to suggest people were living here. In fact, the coin collection only starts some 200 years later.
Then the coinage picks up in the late 200s, getting on for the end of the 3rd century, and there's a very respectable run right the way through into the 4th century, up to this coin, which didn't circulate after around the year 353.
So you reckon our Roman building was in use perhaps for 75 years and went out of use pretty promptly round about the year 350 AD?
Well, that's about it, and I can say that because this coin is actually of a rebel emperor and all his money was demonetised after he was put down. So this coinage didn't really circulate after that date.
Damn, they demonetised his YouTube channel.
Trail off during the second half of the 4th century, and I would still have expected some coins in the 370s, maybe just up into the 380s, but there's none of that at all.
So the finds suggest that this building, if it was a villa, was abandoned unusually early, around 350 AD. But significantly, it also means that the building was standing at the time of our burials and they could be connected. There were lots of villas springing up in the more prosperous 3rd and 4th centuries, and it would make perfect sense to find one just here on Cranbourne Chase. Our building is at the head of 2 streams, giving it a good water supply, and it's close to main Roman roads for easy transport. This is really good arable land, an attractive place to live and farm for thousands of years.
Phil, come and look at this.
And as if to prove the point, there's news from Trench 3.
Oh, we almost slipped.
As well as showing there are no more Roman graves here, it's turned up evidence of much earlier activity in this field.
Pottery and some flint.
I like the
Look
flint.
at that.
Oh, wow. There's a big old scraper, isn't it?
Flint tools were still in use during the Bronze Age, and Phil reckons this could date to the same time as the bit of pot found with it.
This is somewhere around 700 BC, end of the Bronze Age, beginning of the Iron Age. But it came out of this post hole here, and we've got 2 of them. There's the other one. We may possibly have a building much, much older than everything else here.
I know, I do this thing. Because this presumably could be an entrance to a building.
It could be.
It's getting complicated, but this means we now have a Bronze Age building dating to 700 BC, and we've got an Iron Age ditch, part of a field system around 100 BC, and of course our Roman burials dug sometime around 300 AD. Good stuff, but I was hoping that as we made progress with our burials, we'd be able to send some of the team to help with the Roman building. Unfortunately, the archaeologists clearly have got other ideas.
There's also this ring ditch up here that we've been looking at, which is
fish
clearly a very important component in the way this landscape's developed. You know,
But it's thousands of years different.
Well, I mean, it's probably a Bronze Age monument, but these monuments can continue to act as a kind of focus for activity long after their original construction date. I mean, in Wessex you even find deposits of Roman metalwork and stuff like that in these ring ditches.
No, the one thing that you're not saying is that this geophys has been produced copyright Bournemouth University, and I know and you know that Bournemouth University would like us to have a look at that.
No, I mean, when we come and look at a chunk of landscape like that with the geophysics done, you know, our job is to evaluate it, to find out what this stuff is, what date it is, what condition it's in, and you know, you've got to drop trenches in to test that out.
Precisely, and let's bear in mind that Bournemouth University and us, we're all working for the same end.
Trying to understand the landscape.
Oh, I thought he was going to say, bear in mind, fuck those guys.
It's understanding that they had history too.
Well,
like the Romans had
do what we want.
Had history, and of course, this sort of thing would have been really important to them.
Well, all right. Is it me, or do you sense they're ganging up on me? Apparently, our Roman burials may have been sited on this ridge because there was already a Bronze Age burial mound here. We're now opening up a trench across the ring ditch to check its date and see if it was reused for later burials.
You'll put that grass back, or...?
Mick, meanwhile, hasn't completely forgotten about our Roman building.
How are you getting on then, Bridget?
And despite a tiny trench, we are making progress. Although Bridget still has a jumble of walls to make sense of, she's got a theory about them.
if we are actually below a tesserate floor,
Right.
this could be a heating channel. I mean, it's just speculation at the moment. Then that would actually come up around here and then go off this way and go off along this way here.
What makes you think that this might be all underneath the tessellated floor?
Well, it's crazy. Look at the amount of tesserae we've got.
Oh, right.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
It's everywhere. And we've got loads of wall plaster as well.
He's like, oh, well,
Some
yeah,
of it
okay, fair enough.
decorated, all of it red and white. And all of that has been found in this tiny little area here.
Right.
So, you know, if you have removed a floor, gone through it, then it's all just fallen into whatever feature this is, potentially the heating channel.
Have you got a dog's dinner this end as well?
No, we have the cordon bleu pièce de résistance here, I think.
It looks like Carenza's found the remains of a Roman plunge pool.
Corner of wall
Yeah.
in this end of the trench, which hadn't showed up at all on the geophysics. That started to go down here, so we extended the trench back, and you can see what we've got here is a feature that's going right into the ground. There's the plaster, the pink painted plaster,
crikey,
still
yeah.
in situ on the edge of the wall there. You can see it's curving round there, just turning to come round there. Here it's curving up here, and I think that might be the bench they sit on.
Well, there's obviously quite a lot of work to do there, isn't there, to sort that out?
Well, this
It means the building we're digging is a bathhouse, one of the necessary luxuries of a posh Roman villa. What we need here is more diggers. But there's no chance of that at the moment, because up on the ridge, Phil's extending Trench 1 to find the sudden extent of the burials.
There they come. Look at that. Beauty.
So, we haven't got the end of the cemetery yet.
So it's what, 30 metres?
Given that we're also putting a trench across the Bronze Age ring ditch, which means we may reveal burials from other periods, Mike, our expert on death in Dorset, has arranged to show me
Death
how
in
much
Dorset.
burial practices have
Only in
changed
Dorset?
over the centuries. So this is going to be a timeline of burials, is it?
That's what we're going to do. And we'll start you off
Yeah.
4,000 years ago,
Yeah.
2000 BC, southern Dorset. Here we are. And Bill here
Guy on the
Bill
is
Yeah,
dead.
the beard looks like they
Don't
did the
try
big
this
beard.
at
They look like
home.
it's broken
What
out
you're
of
about to
prison.
see is a Bronze Age beaker burial.
And he's going to be in a crouched position at the bottom of this pit. Men go on their right side, women on their left side. And his body's going to be really tightly crouched.
Now fucking bury it.
They're beaker burials because they have a particular type of pot, a beaker.
Bury his
a
ass.
pretty little thing decorated. Sometimes
Never liked
they
him
have
anyway.
a bronze or even copper dagger in with them. There may be a few other bits and pieces.
Do we know why they would have adopted that kind of position?
As you can see, it looks like he's asleep.
Yeah.
That's one possibility. It's that sense of sleeping into death. It could also
They
be
just
that
chucked
they're
him in
seeing
there.
these almost like little babies again, that they're going back into a kind of greater womb. We're not really sure.
This kind of Bronze Age burial was covered by a huge mound of soil and had a ditch dug around it.
We really didn't like that, guys. We
It's
just threw him in
likely
there.
that the ring ditch in our field is the remains of a burial mound like this, and that the pile of earth has been ploughed away over 4,000 years. Well, we won't kill Bill now. We'll leave him uncovered. That's the
I knew
early
it.
Bronze Age, right?
That's it. If you come over here,
Yeah.
we'll look at the Middle Bronze Age.
Which is what sort of period?
1500 BC, 500 years after that, and people have been cremated, and their ashes are placed into a large pot, and there are no grave goods at all. Now, you might think this was real cheap funeral stuff,
Yeah.
but they're using about a ton of wood to actually burn the body on a pyre. They're burying them not very far from where they live. Sometimes they're reusing the barrows that these earlier ones went into. Sometimes it's just like a little family plot behind the settlement.
Apparently, ditches around burial mounds like this one we're digging were reused for burials in many different periods. And I can see now the only way we'll ever really understand why is to investigate them.
Now, he's lying there facing east. He's crouched again.
This is based on an Iron Age
We're still in
burial
there.
around 500 BC.
Guys, please, I've been here for
Burials face
hours.
east. Most houses face
Let me
east or
out.
southeast. Even the entrances to their enclosures face east. So it's the key kind of direction. He might have a pot put in, let's say, behind his feet. A sword. Not at his belt, but
sword?
actually
He's like, wait,
behind
he's
his
like, what?
back.
Huh?
And I've got two disgustingly greasy pieces of pig. We've got a bit of jaw and a front leg. And these go on his stomach. Is it there to keep him stocked up on his way to the afterlife? Is it that he's the missing person from the party, so he has his final and last meal? Don't know.
But when the archaeologist finds him, you don't see any of that.
No. The pot, the sword, the pig bones, the brooch.
And the skeleton.
And the skeleton, yes.
And the Dark Souls music for some reason.
People were also cremated in the Iron Age. Their ashes were buried with a collection of pots, a chunk of classic feasting meat like pig, and sometimes perhaps a personal object like a brooch. However, the fact is that relatively few Iron Age burials of either type have been found, and it's one of the biggest mysteries in archaeology. Could they just have been hung up for the birds to take?
Very likely a number of them were, because we actually have settlements with these small bones scattered about.
It never ceases to amaze me how much can be learnt by excavating skeletons, but it takes time. Tomorrow we should learn a lot more about the 3 Roman people buried here. It was from this burial yesterday that I skillfully excavated this complete new forest ware beaker, and now the moment's come when we can find out what was inside it. Is there anything inside it, or was that rattle just earth moving?
No, it's just all fallen away right now. And I'm about to tip this up.
Yeah. Hub for ancient weed.
Let's have a look.
Oh my god.
Oh, a lot of earth.
Earth. I knew it.
I think we might be completely... Look at that, it's empty. Absolutely stony empty.
Nope, nothing in there. Alright, well, rip. Ever dude lied to you.
So far, everyone's been carried away by the wealth of archaeology up on this ridge. But as we approach the end of day 2, I'm determined that we should do our best to find out more about the building we now all agree is likely to be a Roman villa. Mick? There is marginally more activity going on here than there was yesterday, but basically it is 1.5 trenches and 5 diggers.
You cheeky devil, there's a lot of activity going on down here.
Is there enough for us to be able to have sorted out by this time tomorrow what's going on in this building?
We've got a lot to do. We've got a lot more
Fair
work
enough
to do.
for us to put this on TV.
More people are going to be released because we've pretty well finished up on the hill. We can bring a lot of people down here, and we've got a lot of geophysics to guide us, haven't we?
He was shaking his head just now.
Yeah, because I don't think we're beginning to understand the building yet, certainly not the extents. It's all a bit fuzzy, it's not as clear as
He's got tiny
hope,
glasses.
and I think we've
That's
got to
suspicious.
ignore this plan information and just look at the geophysics.
Yeah. It was only speculation, that plan, anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah, so we've got Bournemouth's earlier survey in the chicken field. We've got ours shown in red and yellow here. And there's several areas we could put in trenches.
Yeah, for my money, we know that's now a plunge bath. We've got to finish that, record it.
Yellow and a red,
that trench, but not do anything else in that area. We know that's the bath. The question is,
that's where
is
they
it
buried
attached
the
to the rest of the villa building? So where is that?
But I mean, normally we'd get John to do the geophysics, and then we'd target various areas of that and work it out from that. And I don't see why we shouldn't do that in the remaining day that we've got.
So we've got just 1 day left. I'm pretty sure that we can sort out what's going on up there, and we're going to bring all our resources down that hill to the villa.
There. Oh shit, they're
so
walking.
A big push
They're
here today,
talking.
with most of the team moving to this end of the site. Now that we've got a bathhouse, we're almost certain we're dealing with a Roman villa.
Now we're going to kill these chickens.
But it's
Observe.
a question of how big it is.
You ever played Fable?
Today, we're ignoring previous speculation about the layout of the building
Kick the
and going
shit out
back
of
to
these chickens.
basics by targeting strong geophys features across the area. We're putting in 3 more trenches, including
chickens,
trench
like, the fuck
5
they doing
that
up
Phil
there?
and the chickens will be digging. Up on the ridge, we've left literally a skeleton crew here to finish off. The farmer had been wondering if these burials were connected with his Roman building, and so far we've established that, broadly speaking, they're of the same date, late 3rd to 4th century AD. Today, after 2 days' careful excavation, we're learning details of the individual burials.
It's actually an elderly female that we've been able to age and sex her now.
Oh.
Yeah. And
this elderly woman wasn't buried alone. These are the remains of a small terrier puppy that was put in the coffin beside her.
A puppy?
I mean, there are all sorts of interesting implications to that, aren't there? Whether, they killed the dog and put it in the burial, or, whether the dog died the same time. There's all sorts of things could be going on.
I suspect what's happened, it was actually killed to go in with her.
Yeah. Right.
Now, although that might
That's
sound
fucked up.
quite horrible to us,
Yeah.
if you have a firm belief in an afterlife,
Take the
then
dog
it's
with
not
you.
that bad.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
you
it's still kind of fucked
got
up.
a new
No.
puppy.
No, I disagree.
You
No.
want your puppy to come with you.
No,
We've established
no, I'm
that
sorry.
these
I think
burials
that's
don't
dumb as shit.
extend
No, I'm
beyond
sorry.
this area. We're only investigating 3 of them, but
Can't
we
get with you on that
estimate
one,
that
sorry.
there may have been as many as 20 graves here. However, the big news for me today is that apparently our experts don't think these are the people who lived in the villa.
This cemetery probably goes with the settlement that you can see on the geophysics, and that settlement may be like a village for the workers tied into the estate on that big building, which is presumably a villa.
So they think the burials could be the people who lived and worked here on the villa estate. Apparently some of them have thought this for a while. I know they've been busy, but someone could have told me.
Phil, you seem to have created
It's
a
my
big
show.
spoil heap over there. Have you found any archaeology?
Absolutely none at all.
But my trench is full of chickens.
Well, we've dug 2 big holes over here, and there's very little coming out of these as well. So much the same story, really.
No, but we're going to
Extend the trench in the opposite direction just to make
chickens
absolutely
don't give a
certain
fuck,
there's nothing
bro.
here other than chickens.
Okay, keep me posted.
It's like the birds, isn't it? Oh look, one's got a worm. They're really after that one.
It appears that our geophys survey was picking up a change of geology and not more of our Roman building.
It's starting to look, Simon, as if possibly the range of buildings is actually quite confined into just the area we've been digging in. It doesn't look as if it's going over towards your pond, and at the moment, unless something's a lot deeper underneath this stuff, it doesn't look as if it's here either.
But in Trench 1, what we've got is evidence of a bathhouse with a plunge pool almost still intact.
Not writing though. Carenza, if you look, John's come up with the other corner of the bath.
That's good, isn't it? So we now know how wide the plunge pool was, and it is just about 6 feet wide.
That's right. And it's not going to be a lot longer. It'll either be a 6 foot
Fucking
square
fill
or
her
perhaps
up.
a slightly longer rectangle. Not very big, but quite impressive. What's lovely is all the plaster around the edge. But what I think is really interesting is the tiles. They've obviously all been deliberately lifted and removed.
I know, it's like someone's come along and lifted up the decent tiles, presumably to reuse them somewhere else, and they haven't gone for the broken ones, and they haven't gone for the ones at the edge that have got the rolled plaster on top of them. They've just taken the decent ones.
That's
Up
funny.
on the ridge, the latest
Yoink.
news is that the building platform that Phil found in Trench 2 has turned out to be the remains of a Roman period building dating something like 100 years before the burials. It appears that our cemetery was put in alongside an old derelict building. A scenario found before in this area, and which also had burials dug into an old ditch. But why did these people get buried next to a ruined farmstead?
Because they buried them in the ditch. If you want to bury a body, it's a great deal easier to bury your body in a silted-in ditch, which is a hell of a lot less work than trying to hack a hole out of a stony field.
Time now to find out about the Roman burial in our ditch. What can you tell us about this one?
Well, apart from the fact the poor thing's had his head squashed, we've got a young teenager, about 13 to 15 years old.
Oh, damn.
At the moment, whether we'll be able to sex it ultimately or not, I don't know.
Pause.
It depends how much we can see. But generally at this age, it's difficult to sex, so we're not really sure.
Matt, what's happening around the feet?
Well, we've got more and more of these hobnails turning up. This morning we had a row going across here, and now we've got ones coming across here as well, so definitely he was wearing a pair of shoes.
So, Mike, where are we now on our timeline of Dorset death?
We've finally got to the Roman period.
Oh my
Now,
God,
you've
they
got to
really
remember
killed
that
him.
He's being dead in the 4th century AD.
Yeah.
And up until 200 AD, most people were getting cremated. And what we find after that is throughout the empire, not just Britain, and even beyond the empire to the north into Scandinavia, inhumation becomes the rule. Now, he's wearing a shroud and he's in a coffin.
So this is very like the kind of burial that the people over there would have had.
Almost identical. Now, we're not sure about the shroud. We have 1 or 2 cases where
Oh, no,
we have
fuck
the
that, bro.
impressions of the linen actually into plaster.
That homie's
that's
better
been
than me.
put
I'd
over
not
the
be down
body
for
in
this.
certain cases. And the interesting
all
thing is
that.
we've just found a shroud pin in the cemetery. Up until now, I don't think anyone's ever detected one of these.
Carl
in this
Pilkington would,
graves.
though,
It's
interestingly
the first
enough.
time. So,
Fantastic.
yeah.
This is the iron shroud pin. It was discovered with the 3rd burial. I don't think any of the diggers realised its significance, although they knew the body had been shrouded because the bones are tight together. It's difficult to say much about it, as the middle has rotted away. And here's a little flask like the one we found.
That's it. Now, we've put oil in this one. It could have had wine, it could have had nothing at all. And again, this goes in by the side of the body.
We found lots of hobnails in our graves.
All that gets left are these, the hobnails.
This can be because they were buried
They got
wearing
this
their
dude dressed up
shoes,
and everything.
but apparently sometimes the footwear was just placed by their feet.
It's been suggested that maybe they're seen to walk to the afterlife. We know that they're not always their own boots because we have children's burials with adult shoes in. And that suggests to me that this is more than just an ordinary item of footwear. It has a symbolic significance far greater than the objects themselves.
We stripped along here and we found absolutely nothing. And then when we got
over in the chicken trench, it looks like we found another Roman wall. The trouble is, it seems to be on its own.
What's new, Kerry, in terms of resolving what this means?
Well, apart from the chicken invasion, we've gone
This
back
dude's dressed
to
crazy.
see if we can find another wall at that height, and we can't
Camo
find anything.
camo
And we've gone
pants,
back,
flannel
another
shirt.
10 metres or so.
We think it's part of the villa, but could be a boundary wall. The puzzle is the find suggests that there's a building very close by.
Oh, yeah, well, that's all right, isn't it?
In the bathhouse trench, we've got a bit of detective work going on.
Satellite
When
dish
you've got
shirt.
the different, you've got the blue, the white and the red, and you've got quite a complex decoration. That's a completely different piece of work from this.
Oh, look at that. We're going into a window embrasure.
Oh, you could name it.
Apparently, none of them has ever seen anything quite like this before.
Take a look at this mark Carenza spotted last night. It's an eye, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely.
You definitely think that is. I mean, I saw it in the trench last night.
That is not
In the dark.
accidental, is it?
It's a
No.
very classical type of eye, and it's the same technique used on a statue where you impress to make the pupil.
But with time marching on and two of our trenches finding no archaeology at all, I want to know what we're going to do next.
I think
We're
what
gonna end
we
the
should
episode
do is
for you.
actually link these two areas beyond the coal plunge into the far trench where you've got the evidence of the hypocaust.
We're out of time, we gotta go.
That way you can establish the rough dimensions of this bath suite and also have a look at its sort of phasing and construction.
Isn't that the policy of despair?
No, not at all.
But yesterday afternoon, you said that we already knew that this was a plunge bath, so there was no point digging that anymore. We ought to go and dig somewhere else.
Plead guilty, my lad. But we've looked over there. There's only a bit of wall. As Carenza says, there's no archaeology over here. That brings us right back to this. We know the phasing here is far more complicated than we thought. Perhaps this bathhouse has been built into what was actually a much smaller building than we originally thought. So she's right. We should be looking over here and understand this building, given the time we've got left.
How much time do we have left? We got about 6 minutes left.
We've got lots of spare labour to concentrate here, given that we haven't found anything in our other trenches. The plan is only to strip off the topsoil and clean up the surface layer to reveal further walls and features that might help us understand the individual rooms and maybe the status of the villa. Up on the ridge, we're now busy recording the evidence we've found. As it turned out, our trench put in over the ring ditch didn't reveal any new burials or dating material.
Damn.
So it should be about in the middle of the barrow there.
But using more advanced geophysics equipment than Bournemouth used for their survey,
Damn, you ain't got
we
rust
picked
like
up
that.
something they hadn't detected.
But look,
oh, you got
we
the
have
Bronze
got the
Age.
central.
We got
Must
what
be
these
the Bronze
shitty
Age
kids
burial,
did.
mustn't it, in that pit?
It's been a hectic 3 days, but essentially what we've found is new detail to add to the story of continual occupation of this ridge over thousands of years. In just these 3 trenches, we discovered evidence of a Bronze Age roundhouse, an Iron Age field ditch, and an early Roman farm building. All of which had long gone out of use when this area was used as a cemetery in late Roman times by people living close by, and probably farming land that belonged to the villa down the hill. And down at the
that's
villa,
cool.
we're still working hard to keep my promise to find out as much as we can about it. It seems we've collected enough clues to picture what the plunge pool might have looked like. And Guy has a theory about why this villa was abandoned.
So this is based on the bits of wall plaster that we found?
Yeah, we've got fragments of all those colours found in the plunge bath over there.
And this is what, building it?
No, this is taking it apart.
Why would they do that in the Roman period?
Well, we've never got any specific explanation to help us understand why any one building should be taken apart, but funnily enough, there is a historical episode that does fit the date. You know, we think this villa was given up in the late 4th century, or just after the middle of the 4th century.
Yeah.
And that's the time of the Emperor Magnentius, 350 to 353. He's actually a rebel emperor who rules the Western Empire, much to the annoyance of the Emperor Constantius II, who's the real one, right? Now, Magnentius gets defeated, and Constantius sends over his agent into Britain specifically to beat
Person in the
up
back is looking, they're staring right
all
at the camera.
people who supported the rebel regime. Yeah. Now, this chap, this imperial agent, gets completely out of control, so much so that the governor of Britain tries to kill him, but fails and commits suicide himself on the spot because he's so appalled at how these people are having their estates seized, all sorts of innocent people. So you can imagine how this agent could have taken away this estate from this chap who'd owned this place, perhaps a supporter of the rebel empire. The house is knocked down and the land is given to somebody who supported the legitimate regime, maybe in the next villa up the valley.
And now, after a final bit of cleaning up, how much more do we know about this building? Bridge, this is the part of the trench we called the Dog's Dinner. Is it still a Dog's Dinner?
It's absolutely not. There's just the most fantastic archaeology coming up. What we've got here is actually the beginning of our Roman story. This is the early plunge pool. It's got painted, plastered walls, and we've got a seat here where people would have sat.
If it's a plunge pool, why has it got all this brick stuff?
Why they lined up so
because
great
the families up in the background? They've decided to invest some money and improve their house. They've filled in the plunge pool and they've laid over it a centrally heated floor. You've got one of the heated channels there.
Just here?
That's right. And over this was the mosaic floor that we found all the parts from. You can even see the
like
bedding
perfect
here.
formation.
This family was upwardly mobile.
And that's not all they do at this point. At the same time as they lay the mosaic and fill in that plunge bath, they built a whole new bath range.
Where's the bath range?
Well, we were right to extend the trench this way because we've got another 2 rooms exposed. This rubble here is clearly infill, so these are quite deep chambers. These are heated rooms. We've probably got the hot room and the warm room that will go with the cold plunge bath, so you've got the sort of triple arrangement of a standard Roman bathhouse.
So, you walked on heated floors into the tepidarium with its warm bath. Next, into the calidarium, the hot room full of steam. And then finally, into the frigidarium, the cold room, to take a dip here in our cold plunge pool. As for the rest of the villa, well, the fact that these trenches turned up nothing makes us think that the Roman building remains are fairly concentrated in this area. Stuart has spotted that there are earthworks in the field opposite, and it's possible that the major part of the villa is across the road.
Bruh.
As ever, Victor's been quick to interpret this idea, and his sketch shows the bathhouse on the end of a typical 4th century villa, as it often was because of the fire risk. As for the people who lived here, where were they buried? Well, I'm told somewhere up on the higher ground, possibly in a mausoleum. But that's for another day. I suppose I'd hoped that at the end of the 3 days we'd be able to turn around to Simon and say the people who were buried up on that hill were the people who lived in that villa.
I think that was probably always going to be a long shot. You know, unless you find a grave slab up there
Tony's like, shit, don't,
saying here lies
sell me
Marcus,
out.
and down here you find his plate and his spoon saying these belong to Marcus. To have that sort of link, it's not quite like that.
I think he's telling us we were a bit naive. But they could have been workers on the estate.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's all interconnected, and you know, we've shown that sort of bigger picture, I think.
So are you pleased?
Yeah, very pleased. You've answered lots of questions. I think there's lots more questions to be answered.
Well, there's decades of work just
Only
in this
thing
field,
is my
isn't there?
grass.
But then that's what Cranbourne Chase is like. It's full of good archaeology.
My grass! Okay, well that was really interesting. It's cool to learn about history and stuff like that. And Tony Robinson's a great host. I don't know how great that is for reactions, because like I'm trying to be fun with that, but also it's like, you know, it's serious history shit. And I'm also trying to like get invested, but I'm supposed to say that because it's a fine line to draw sometimes, because like I'm invested in it and I want to watch it, but I'm doing a reaction video, so you know I gotta say shit. There were a couple points in that where I'm like, oh wow, that's right, I should probably fucking say something, because you know. It's kind of what we got going on here. But at the same time, I wouldn't be opposed to watching more of it in the future. So if you want to see more, let me know. But I mean, this is the type of show where, you know, we could. I'm obviously it's a different thing every time, so can just jump around. But that is it from me today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to leave it a like. If you didn't like it, don't. If you want to follow any of my social media links are all in the video description, links on my Patrons. If you didn't like, you can Patreon me for as little as another £1. The X reaction videos, also reading content there, like sometimes more. With all being said, though, my name is Harry, my reaction to Time Team. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.